Hi class. So today I'm going to talk about my topic that I chose, and that topic was discrimination and diversity of law enforcement. So I'm going to start off by talking about the diversity and things with diversity in law enforcement is diversity. Having diversity in law enforcement is a good thing, a very good thing. Just some historical facts that I did find during my research for this project. I did find that um, past in the back and historically before the 20th century, law enforcement was predominantly Caucasian males, not really any females or any other races and things like that. And then after the 20th century is when you started to see more diversity and more females and more other cultures, ethnicities, more gender roles being put in place inside of the law enforcement field. Also, having a lot of diversity in the field can help with the way that the workflow goes, and also help out in the community when running into people that's from another race or another culture. If you have officers that's understands that culture or understand their language or the way they speak, if you need somebody to translate and you have that diversity in law enforcement, you have that help that can assist in situations like that when you can't really relate to the people in the community, but an officer that's working in that community at that time, the community would feel comfortable with having somebody of their either their ethnicity or their background, or that believes in the same religion as them, to where they have that understanding to also make the community comfortable with the officers that they have within their community. So it also helps lower, sometimes it can help also lower, a lot of crime rates, by them feeling like they have somebody in their community that understands them, somebody that they can go to and don't feel like they're not being heard or they're not being understood, and, things like that. The other topic that I have to talk about is discrimination. Now, with discrimination, sometimes I notice that still kind of goes on. Um, when it comes to law enforcement, I've seen it myself, and not to get off topic, but even with other jobs, other fields, I've seen that go on. But within law enforcement, there can be discrimination, and with having discrimination in law enforcement fields, it do causes problems. It causes lack of help with work, lack of help into the community. It could cause a high turnover rate, um, bad reviews for the company, um, not really ever having a lot of coverage or officers to actually work and perform their duties because you're always short of staff because of the discrimination that goes on within law enforcement. Um, helping the law enforcement field with not discriminating against people because of their religion, so their beliefs, discriminate against them because of their gender, because you feel like the female officers cannot do more than what a male officer can, or they don't have the strength to do certain job requirements, things such little things like that, or even male officers that may be on the smaller side, on the shorter side, things like that. So they're looked at as they may be too short to do this, they may be too skinny to do this. It goes both ways when it comes to discrimination, and I would say it just more so causes a lot more problems within the job, in the company itself. I do have a couple topics that I wanted to talk about, um, with things that could help, um, like having an anti-discrimination policy, adhering to policies about discrimination, even during the hiring process. Not looking at people applications and seeing what they put on their application about their background, their ethnicity, their race, their gender, things like that, and automatically disqualifying them, because that happens a lot, and it really gets noticed, whether us in the background don't see it, but over time, small things like that does get noticed, and let's be honest, it's not fair. It's never okay to discriminate against a person because of their religious belief, their gender, their race, their disabilities, because you never know, by underestimating someone, you never know what this person can and can't do. You may feel like this person can't uphold the job duties, but this person can. And the person that you believe in that can uphold these job duties, they're actually the person that can't do it. So it's just always about giving them that chance to prove themselves instead of, being down on them right off the bat and, discriminating and just already making up your mind that this person will not be able to complete the job duties. Um, Discrimination can also reduce the effectiveness of um, law enforcement as well. And what I mean by that is it won't be so effective because as officers, we all are supposed to be one. We're all supposed to all stick together as officers. So when we're discriminating against each other, when we're out in the field or in the workplace, others see us not sticking together. So we're not as effective as we're supposed to be because we have this split in between us, like, oh, you know, not them or just us. And it'll show to people, and that will give like a weakness within our union. And when people see that weakness, sometimes people prey on that and feel like, they're not together, or we can manipulate this person or we can manipulate that person because they don't like this officer, they don't like that officer, and things like that. So discriminating is not good because in the end it leads up to a lot of different issues. And then back to diversity, when you don't have that diversity, you don't have it's hard to communicate with the community, with the people in the community. It's hard to have the community really understand you, especially when they feel like, now, like, sometimes when they feel like they're not able to go to officers, or the last people that they want to talk to is officers because we're already law enforcement. And they look at law enforcement as, trouble, or we're looking to get them in trouble, or we're looking just to start something with them just because. So having somebody that's in their culture, or that's the same gender as them, or that has the same beliefs as them, somebody that relates to their community, to understand what them as a person or them as a community go through from day to day, that will, help them be able to have that guard down with law enforcement and be able to talk and understand them and speak to them truthfully. So, and again, my topic was speaking on diversity and discrimination, and this is the end of my video. Bye.